All right, well, let's talk about what I think is the best of these three movies, surprisingly,
Oh my
over
god.
here in Theater 3. Guns Akimbo, starring from 2020, starring Daniel Radcliffe, Samara Weaving, Ned Dennehy, and Natasha Lou Bordizzo. Directed by Jason Lee Howden. So that's what we got here. Want to hit us with a trailer there, Murphy,
Sure.
for this gem of a film?
Take down the theater banner.
Someone's trying to kill me! Please, go drive now!
I'm Miles, and first day of my life.
Another schism.
Schism picked random
Believe it's
psychos,
pronounced
weirdos, and
schism.
criminals and made them fight each other to the
No,
death.
see, they spelled it
So the
wrong
internet
because they
loved it.
wanted you to
This
know
is
how
like
to actually
taking
say
the
it.
fun
Like,
of
just-
that
Definitely
and
not
just
schism.
adding all the
It's like Judgment.
hackers.
You scared yet?
Welcome to Schism.
Yeah, see, I saw this trailer. I'm
They
like, I'm
bolted
gonna
these
hate
things to
this
my
movie,
hand.
but I didn't.
They have my
This is a
girlfriend.
fun romp.
And some psycho is trying to kill me.
I'm not a fighter. I'm a nobody. Hey, I need
This
help!
movie reminded
It's
me
one
of
thing to
Bubble
say you
the
can't face
Shotgun
violence,
so
but when it
much.
faces you, you better be
Haven't
ready.
seen that.
Bubble the Shotgun on meth.
When the shit goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I love that scene
So much
too.
about
Actually.
this fucking movie that I know I can
I gotta kill you.
Oh my god,
So they would wipe
we
my
are
slate.
different
Schism is
species,
gonna kill us.
maybe.
I don't get how you can like this movie but not Atomic Blonde. I was fairly
Oh, I'll
certain
explain
while
you. I'll
watching this
explain
movie,
you.
This is the movie you saw when you watched Atomic Blonde. I was like,
No.
oh, this is the fucking
Get out of the
kids
car, please. Come on. Please get
music
out. Thank
video
you.
fest that he was
Thank you very
talking
much.
about when
Sorry.
berating Atomic Blonde. This is what he
But
was
this is-
talking about. I get it.
No.
He won't like this movie. Surely he won't like this movie. And what is he fucking telling me?
You see, I'll explain it all. Your head may still explode.
Clumsy. Yes.
Did I win?
Okay, so here you go, Murphy. This movie was funny. This movie made me laugh out loud a bunch of times.
Oh
What
man.
Atomic Blonde was just super boring. Like, yeah, Charlize Theron's pretty, but it was just glamour shots of her for like an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and 40 minutes, and it offered me nothing. It was even in like a historical setting, which normally interests me, and this one is like shouldn't have interested me at all. It's about internet culture and things I don't like, but like it was talking about that. It was like hanging a lantern on all that bullshit like I don't like about Twitter and TikTok and all this shit. And it was pointing it out and not subtly. So and excuse me. And it was hilarious. Like I say, this movie and the action was interesting. It was colorful. I like this movie. This movie was my favorite of the three. I enjoyed
Okay, first
myself
of all,
the entire
the
time.
the
It was a
reason I
little
picked
long. I think it could have been an hour long Black Mirror episode. Probably better.
that would have been
From
far more entertaining. Like, okay, one, the reason I picked this episode is a friend of mine has raved about this movie about to me since it came out. She saw it at TIFF and she was like the biggest fan of this film. So I was like, okay, this seems like a good
good
reason
movie.
to watch this film.
A good friend.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, it fits in the internet category perfectly. Like I said, it's a combination of the previous two films. But I did not enjoy watching this film. The action was stupidly cartoonish. The camera angles, there's so many forced perspectives and barrel rolls. I thought it was
yes,
fucking
I was like,
Star Fox.
oh man, I was like, is this the director's signature move, the friggin' barrel roll shot?
Dude,
Because
I
it
was
happened
getting,
so many
legitimately,
times.
dizzy and like grossed out by some of like the camera movements that were. There was breaking of 180. There was so much wrong with this film that I just couldn't enjoy myself watching. There was a couple funny. I don't even know if there was a couple funny scenes. Like, no, there was. There was a
There
couple funny
was.
scenes. There was
It
one
was
scene
quite
that
funny.
that I chose that I held up because just the way it was delivered. But like ultimately, I did not enjoy this movie, and I don't get it. How did you like this, but you didn't like Atomic Blonde, which is
It's
like a
I
more
don't see why you
sensible
relate
version of
those
what
two
this is?
films. No, it's a boring version of what this is. Atomic Blonde had an unlikable lead character. This movie had a very likable lead character. Daniel Radcliffe was very good in this. Like you root for him. Like that's why like
He
the
was
whole
great,
point of the
but the
movie too. The
character of
internet
Nyx
starts
was
to
like
root for
nails
him
on a
too.
chalkboard to me. I didn't like she was so.
Yeah, I didn't care about Nyx, but she was just like there to try to kill him. Like,
But she was also like an integral part of the plot, as we're gonna about to
true.
get into here.
But yeah,
But before we
she's
do
not my
that,
favorite. But
Andrew, Kyle, what were
still
your
better
initial
than
thoughts on
Atomic
the film
Blonde.
before him and I get
Yeah.
into this
This-
cartoonish debate?
No, like this
Yeah.
movie just it exhausted me so fast. If I was not watching it to comment on it for this, I would have probably turned it off about 25 minutes in because it was just like, and I'm someone who typically will gravitate towards movies that are a bit like stylized and maybe a little like sometimes over the top, but I just felt like this, it it missed the mark everywhere it tried to do that.
Has
Like,
anybody here
this
seen
is
Hobo
the-
with a Shotgun?
Yes.
I have not actually watched that.
Okay. If you ever see that movie, like Andrew, you have, it gave me that vibe, that sort of lampoonish violence, but it was dialed up a couple notches more
Yeah.
to like a degree that I did not enjoy. The like the 3D like not even 3D. It's just the clearly like After Effects blood spatters and
Well,
stuff.
there's
like
there's
that.
a certain
Like,
amount of there's a certain amount of like gratuity that when you make it too gratuitous, it's like, well, now it doesn't mean anything anymore.
yeah.
Like I don't mind a little bit of like ultra violence in my movies if it like means something, but in this movie, it's like they do the two sort of scenes where they introduce Nyx, like the one in the cars, and another one where she's just shooting up people in some warehouse or whatever. And it's just like, okay, like, yeah, it's just
I
like
think they could have cut 30 minutes of that stuff out of them.
well, the final shootout I think runs for like 18 minutes or something stupid, like in the last scene where they're going, and it's like this did not need to be this long because it's literally just like
Listen, Linda.
the director had like his checklist of like he had his checklist of here are cool scenes I want to put in
Nix's
my
warehouse
movie.
shootout scene is awesome because there's a quick little scene in there where she unloads a couple bullets in some guy's ass and then continues to shoot him in the head afterwards. That's awesome.
Well, let's get into
To me, this movie was the most
And-
accurate and least sci-fi of all these three movies we watched.
I'm
This is
definitely on Team
basically the
Davan
internet.
on this one. I went into this like with zero expectations. It's actually the first of the three movies that I had to rewatch out of these ones. Oh, this is my first time seeing it.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
my
just went
first time
into-
seeing it.
I remember seeing the cover for it and not thinking anything of it. Like I'll never watch this movie, and the only reason I watched it was for this. And I was pleasantly surprised. I had fun.
Well, and everyone's seen like the Daniel Radcliffe memes, right? Like that came from this movie, with him holding his hands up there at the, in his robe and looking like an idiot.
And I think some of the action scenes were, it is gratuitous. It's supposed to be kind of like a video game, right? I mean, that's the whole point of it. It's like a real life.
Yeah,
video
they said
game.
it. No, sure, I can appreciate that. Yeah, it missed the mark for me. It just wasn't.
It's supposed to be silly.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think the thing is they were just they couldn't find the balance between silly and like effective.
Because it's a comedy, right? It's not like a
Yeah,
thriller.
it's comedy. That's
or-
why I liked it.
That's it for me. Like it just didn't hit the right balance for me. Yeah.
I watched
Alright,
two
so-
boring movies and then this one, and I was like, finally, I can like enjoy myself a little bit.
So Guns Akimbo from 2020, the film opens up with our main antagonist Schism here, opening with like a dialogue scene.
This is going to be a quick breakdown, likely, because there's not a big plot here. It's just like,
There's not.
unless you're going to
really
describe
not.
the fight scenes.
My question
And
in
then
the
there was a
first game,
barrel roll.
My question in the first scene is how can she see because she has like her hood over her eyes while they're driving?
Yeah, like very limited vision. I kind of like I skipped past all that for time's sake. So yeah, Daniel Radcliffe plays the role of Miles Lee Harris, a computer programmer who enjoys trolling online trolls. It's he basically lives a at home, does nothing lifestyle, and works for a really shitty computer game company. It's when he
Bust
insults
2.
viewers, huh? Nut bust too,
Net
yeah.
Bust 2.
He
You
takes
know
he
that some of
takes
the comments like that constantly pop up in this movie that people are like writing on the chat boards or whatever are actually really funny.
yeah, it's a very excellent like farce of what the internet is and all that stuff. So yeah, when Miles insults viewers who turn murder into entertainment on the form of an underground fight club and criminal organization known as Schism, Richter, played by Ned Dennehy, is the kingpin and
Yeah.
psychopath who runs Schism. Sorry.
Yeah.
He eventually breaks into Miles' apartment because Miles basically shoots his fucking mouth off, and
Go back to that last one, like 3 shots ago. Where it's like that big there. See, like
the chaos. Yeah, there was a lot of just like
some of that stuff was pretty funny. Like,
the one line he says in this
that's not the best
that
example.
I've found kind of funny is he's like in everyday life I'm just a loser, but behind a keyboard I'm a motherfucking assassin or some bullshit like that, and he's just trolling people, and it's just like he thinks he's the baddest ass of the world, and it's just okay.
Yeah.
You got to chuckle out of me for that, you
It's
know.
like, yeah, get mad. Yeah.
So yeah, Schism narrows in on him, and they eventually break into his apartment with his henchmen, which leads to real early the one scene for me that holds up.
Now, your busy little hands, they need to be done on this.
No, please don't smash my hands. No, I really like using them.
Now, relax, Miles. We didn't come here to smash your hands.
Why did you tell me to bring the hand smashing hammer then?
Hand smashing hammer.
That character was probably the funniest in my whole like experience of watching this film. So yeah, they basically knock him out and drug him. I need to remember. Oh yeah, yes, okay, yes. They drug him and basically install with very big drills a couple guns in his hands, which leads to I believe this is Andrew's pick or Kyle's pick. Andrew, yeah, this is your pick for the scene that holds up.
You know how painful that would be?
Oh my, ridiculous.
But the thing that really doesn't make sense is he has a bulb through his index finger. How the hell are you gonna do this?
No idea.
What?
Like the pain would be so insane
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able
So,
to
like,
do anything.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that scene ends pretty shortly, but it's like the whole sequence of him like trying to deal with having guns for hands. It's like,
Trying to take a piss and shit.
yeah, I just feel like that's everything
like
I
just-
would do. Trying to
That
pick up
scene
the
was
phone,
surprising as fuck.
trying to turn a doorknob,
That's what he
You make a
does.
sandwich.
trying to put on pants.
Yeah.
I felt like as soon as that happened, I'm like, okay, like I could predict all the other like comedy scenes of him trying to interact with shit with his gun hands, and they all happened at some point in the movie.
They all happened
Like-
within the first like 5
They were
minutes
still
of it.
funny.
Most of them happened. Yeah, most of them happened in that scene, and the ones that didn't happened in that movie. It's like fuck's sakes.
So yeah,
Yeah, they
Miles
picked all the
wakes up with
low-hanging
guns. Miles wakes up with guns bolted into both of his hands, and he learns that he has been forced to participate in Schism and is being pitted against Nix, played by Samara Weaving, the game's deadliest and craziest killer. Which are then introduced to a scene of Nix doing cocaine off of guns with guns, and proceeding to go through this warehouse of barrel rolls and flippy shit. And this is where I started tuning out. I couldn't handle
Yeah.
this entire action scene. it was so terribly filmed that I was just like, oh, this is painful. This is making me actually physically sick. And like her like sparkly power up with the cocaine, and it was like, what are we trying to be?
Yeah.
Are we the Scott Pilgrim of gun shooting movies? Is this what this is supposed to be?
This is way better than Scott Pilgrim.
All right, I'm
Shut
leaving.
your lips.
I don't know about
Bye,
that.
Davan. See you, buddy. I'm leaving now. See ya.
God.
I know, I'm like the only person that doesn't like that movie, but I find it terrible. It's just like women are a prize to be won in like on an Xbox game. Anyway.
So yeah, we get the scene where Nix is told she goes to Miles. She just walks into a police station and like accesses their database to find out where Miles is. And yeah, then we get the P scene where he's trying to handle his junk and it gets all floppy dangles on him. We won't be showing that for terms of service reasons. He's trying to pull on the pants. While he's doing all this, Miles, just before he leaves, comes across Nix with a fucking dollar bill in her nose. She's intending to kill him, and he wants to reason with her. Miles distracts her with a little Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I will say this movie's pretty much only good when Daniel Radcliffe's on screen.
Yes,
but that isn't a lot of it, if not most of it.
So she shoots up his apartment, causing him to escape to the park, where he meets up with his ex-girlfriend Nova Alexander, played by Natasha Liu Bordizio. She's pretty weirded out by this whole situation. He's being very crackheadish and all that stuff. And he dips out. Where she
and he meets
goes
the
off,
Aussie guy.
Where she goes off to break it to the cops. Nova reports the situation to Detective Graves, played by Grant Ballard, and his partner Stanton, played by Edwin Wright, that hack Nova's phone to track Miles. Miles gets help from a temporary vagrant named Glenjamin, played by the legendary Rhys Darby.
I just love that his name's Glenjamin.
Glenjamin, yeah.
Where I believe we get
everything about this guy is
Kyle's
great.
Scene here.
Yeah.
No, this was my pick, wasn't it?
This is Kyle's. Your pick is
Why
actually
shouldn't I?
shortly after this.
Well, the angle's all wrong. You won't hit your brain.
Oh, yeah.
You'll just end up blowing your damn face off.
Oh. Okay, thanks.
And then you'll still be depressed. Even more depressed, probably, because of your fucked up face. Try and angle it right to the rear base of the head.
You can put Rhys Darby in anything and he wins every time.
Okay,
That's
you know
basically
way
why
too
I
much about
had to
this.
pick this.
Just trying to be helpful, man.
Trying to be helpful, man.
The other thing, so two reasons. So just Rhys Darby, love him. Like this movie was filmed in New Zealand. It features a lot of New Zealand cast, and like with him, it's just like he's just like, I'm not doing an accent. he's like, if you want me in your movie, I'm just doing my normal fucking voice. And just like, I always feel like he's a very underrated comedic actor, and I feel like he maybe doesn't get a lot of roles because, I mean, if you ever watch Flight of the Conchords, in like the first episode of Flight of the Conchords, he tries to like tone down his accent, and it fails so bad that like they just forget that ever happened for the rest of the show, and he just let him use his normal voice.
His stand-up is some of the funniest I've watched.
Yeah, so yeah, he just, as soon as I saw him, I did get a little smile on my face. I'm like, all right, like I like him. He that scene, it just the way and like just the crazy look he holds in his eyes in that scene, it's just like he looks
it's a redeeming life raft of entertainment in this movie for me.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
He's very funny.
It leads to Davin's favorite scene because they're all almost part of the same thing.
Hey, you don't have anything to eat, do you?
Oh, no.
Well, let's have a look at the pantry.
Let's have a look at
the pantry.
Half a cold hot dog. You don't have a vegetarian option, do you?
So you don't believe in violence or eating meat?
I don't like contributing to the suffering in the world, I guess.
Well, that's a great philosophy, man, but most people in the world, they just eat whatever they can get.
So yeah, he just needs to eat that mustard cold hot dog that's been sitting there for 8 months, and chokes it down because, gotta eat what
See, like, at what point, though, like, once it's on the ground, like, I would just go face first and eat it off the ground. Like, why are you trying to pick it up? Like, just go and just get down there and get that thing in your mouth and start eating it. Like, And again, this was like when he gets the gun hands, I'm like, oh, there's going to be trying to eat scene. And so when that, like, I rolled my eyes a little bit because I'm like, yeah, okay. They put the getting pants on and you know, trying to eat food kind of at the same time, even though they kind of doubled down on the getting pants on thing. It was just like, yeah, all right, like I get it. He can't do it because he has gun hands. Ha 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 ha. ha.
I mean, would you just ignore all that though? I mean, that's whole, like the whole crux of this movie. He's got guns.
Yeah, like again, like I feel like
he has to do all those things.
It was a 50-minute movie that they padded with like a ridiculous amount of action scenes.
Yeah, it's a Black Mirror episode. Every single one of these movies tonight would have been better. It's just 50-minute Black Mirror.
An episode of Black Mirror or The Outer Limits. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But the only reason I picked that scene is it's kind of like a self-realization moment for the character because he's like, I just don't like to add to the suffering and the shit in the world. It's just like, dude, you just go home and troll people to make them angry on the internet. Like, it's literally all you do is add to the shit in the world. Like, so, you know, this movie, like, I love how it's just poking at all the things I don't like about the internet. And yeah, this is a good movie.
As Kitty Foreman once said, the internet just sounds like two crazy voices screaming at each other.
So does this podcast oftentimes.
Too often. So to get back into it, Miles heads back to his office where he works so his friend Hadley, played by Milo Cawthorn, can hack the Schism tracking malware on his phone. While doing that, Xander, his boss, gives him some trouble, but Miles finally gets assertive with his continually condescending boss, Xander, only to have Nick show up and begin shooting up the office and killing Xander, giving him a nice facial. Miles
took it like a champ.
Yeah, just like a gym. Miles ultimately escapes in a stolen car while Nix chases him down on a motorbike, following a face-off where he again fails to reason with Nix. This time, Miles calls Nova, but sees Richter kidnapping her. After his little showdown with Nick, she gets firebombed and is very shocked and awed by all that. But yeah.
He has issues with fire.
Yeah,
she's a nice person.
She has her hound moment. Yeah.
He sees Richter kidnapping his ex-girlfriend, and he's told he's basically, stop running, start acting. This leads to after this, it leads to yet another shootout, but albeit a hilarious setup where he just kind of drifts across this gang doing some sort of gun deal. Or
this scene was completely pointless. Like this scene
was hilarious too. Like, what's your fucking problem? He's just like, I ain't got no problem.
They literally could have removed this scene from the movie, and the movie is exactly the same.
Yeah, because
I thought this
she's
scene was
shows
funny.
up with a fucking minigun on top of a stack of cars, like that wouldn't be hard to get up with, and just starts shooting everybody but missing people at the same time, which, like, that thing would have mowed them all down in 5 seconds or less.
Yeah, well, we can talk about how, like, in when it shows her going through the warehouse, she has a 100% accuracy rate and yet never manages to hit the main character of the movie with probably combined like 700 rounds by the time.
That's probably my biggest gripe. She's the best player in this game. She kills a guy doing a 180 in a car.
Yeah.
One shot.
Can't hit this mobile dev nerd. Yeah.
Wearing tiger.
Should have addressed it earlier. They addressed it eventually because I was like that too. I'm like, how does this guy not get killed yet? But then they like put like armor on him and shit.
But maybe then she plays to the game. Ever think about that? Like, she knows this guy's not a threat. So maybe she's just messing around like a complete psychopath that she is.
And the clicks and the
which is why she doesn't mow everyone down in this scene, because she's just having fun.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you're onto something.
I think it's just bad.
Or that.
That's too.
Or it's just bad.
So during this, the police arrive and arrest Miles.
It's good or it's bad.
This scene went by very quickly. We're being introduced to the fact that Degrade.
Well, wait a sec. Go back one slide here. Now go back like 5 or 6 more slides to the last time he's looking at his phone. It's at 51% and it's the same time. 51%.
928.
No, don't. This is just
one's
a
928
slide. That's all.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
fine.
that's a part of the scene. You're pointing out discrepancies that are clearly my error.
Yeah, this is your
Lord
fault that
Nikon
this
over
movie
here
doesn't
with
hold
his
up.
I mean, I got attention to. Nobody can ever claim that I don't have attention to detail. Okay.
So yeah, we get
can't
this
lie
scene
about
where the
me.
cops capture Miles, and DeGraves breaks down how he's been running basically a RICO operation on Schism, and how they killed his wife and tried to kill his daughter, who turns out to be Nick's. And during this whole scene, that's when Stan pulls the gun on DeGraves and kills him immediately, which is just like, okay, so what was the point? You know, like there was just so random. It was just
Like,
a
he didn't even
random
flinch.
thing. More brains on his face. Like it felt like the same scene I watched earlier.
He's gonna miss the taste of brains when it's gone. He's getting a lot of exposure to it.
You never quite know you're gonna miss the taste of brains, do you?
Stanton plays a video message in which Richter explains that Miles has 30 minutes to kill Nix, or else that he will kill Nova. So we're ramping up to the final end. Miles manages to secretly meet with Nix and tells her that
Except
Richter
that 30 minutes is probably like 45 minutes in this movie, but
yeah, Miles
That's true.
to
Yeah,
secretly
it's
meet with
timestamped,
Nix and
though.
tells her that Richter murdered her father and kidnapped his ex-girlfriend. In her rage and desire for revenge, Nix agrees to the plan, where they successfully stage a scene for Schism's broadcast camera drones, and she seemingly guns down Miles about 5 times. He was actually wearing a bulletproof vest he removed from DeGraves. He tried to stress the fact that he only needed to be shot once, but she's, crazy and shoots him several times. They have their little puffer and cocaine scene before, they knock on the door to have a dude open up, and he just ganks him in the head. And this is where we proceed to get like a 20-minute
Yeah. Now he's
halo
he's
scene.
very suddenly an ice cold killer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's suddenly got accuracy. He couldn't shoot the gun fucking 40 minutes ago, and she had to give him tips, and now he can hit everybody, and he's pirouetting and shooting up and down and all around.
She gave
all
him
experience, Murphy.
She gave him one tip
Wick.
about how to hold his arm, and now
he's
an
one
ice
tip
cold
and he's
killer.
John Wick all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So
does it actually show his bullets hitting people? Maybe he's just firing his guns. They're completely whiffing.
He could be whiffing. I think he definitely hit a few people. Like there was the guy at the door and stuff like that. But yeah.
Like where was he shooting at the ceiling there? Like what? He just shooting straight up.
Above.
No one's standing straight above him.
He just got caught up in the moment. He's just doing a pose.
So yeah, the world's watching. Somehow he's watching on his broken TV and reacting.
No, he's
really
not though. It actually
confusing.
shows that he doesn't have anything on the screen.
Yeah, which they should have ended there, but they go back to him later on, like he's still reacting and watching to the events, and it was just like, what the fuck?
He says it's shitty volume.
So yeah, he's like,
It's
you
a great
suck
movie.
for watching this. You're a part of the problem. These two flirt over the shotgun, and then you get this fight scene where she tries to catch a knife and loses her fingers, and she's like, that just made Friday nights really fucking lonely, which I thought was a funny joke. She eventually, goes all out, kills them all, and blows herself up, committing suicide, taking out the rest of Richter's men.
Yeah, and there's 40 dudes in this area, and she's just running straight, and she doesn't
at them. Not one of them has stopped her by shooting her in the leg or the head. They're winging her arm.
They aren't shooting her though. She's just going.
Yeah, she's
getting
shooting
her, but they're not shooting her to stop her. They're winging her. She should have fell down well before she got to her, intended position.
You don't understand how the internet works.
Just dumb.
Is it? I mean, but would you say that about Commando? Remember, everyone watch Commando?
Oh, those movies, the Commando's dumb.
So yeah, she sacrifices hope
Yeah,
detonating
it's the same-
Hold up.
Richter's men.
Yeah, hold up.
When Arnold just hip fires and takes out 70 dudes, that's
and he does the exact opposite of using cover. He pops out of cover.
Yeah, no, that's
fire from his hip.
It's the stupidest shit ever.
But it's awesome. And that's what this is. That's what this is. You want this to be realistic?
No.
No.
He's got guns strapped to his hands in a way that would be so painful. He
what
would
are you
just be
expecting?
unconscious.
Yeah, what am I
You want
expecting from a movie where the premise is a guy has guns strapped to his head?
Yeah.
It blew my expectations out of the water. I expected less
You're in
than
the
nothing.
you're in the wrong headspace.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, we get the scene where the vest blows up and we lose all of Richter's men. We then get a scene where Richter executes Stanton while making his way to the rooftop, with Nova leaving marker trails on the wall to the roof. Miles follows the trail and charges at Richter. They have a little standoff and a bit of shooty shoot. The crowd's watching. They're really intense. The volume's shitty.
Just like that face right there, like that face from Reese Darby. Yeah, that's like that's the only redeeming
every penny
thing of this movie to me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the price of admission right there for sure.
That's real acting.
So yeah, Miles basically goes after Richter. They have a face-off. He pushes Richter off the building and he falls to his death, much to the delight of everybody watching. Miles wins Schism. He hits the ground and he gets to embrace with the girlfriend. Oops, no, actually he's just passing out through massive blood loss, and he was imagining a romantic reunion with Nova, who actually becomes frightened and goes into shock after seeing what Miles is turning into in the end. Everybody is solemn and they stop watching. The live stream has ended. But it actually hasn't. No, nay. We get a cliffhanger where Daniel Radcliffe
book series
is reading his Guns Akimbo comic that his ex-girlfriend finally started writing. And his hands are no longer balled to the guns that he's willingly holding, for he is now Harry Wick Potter. And he's gonna go shut down the global organization that is Schism with his puffer in hand.
You are killer, Harry.
A nod and a wave.
You're a killer, Harry.
You're a killer, Harry. That's the end of fucking Guns Bloody Akimbo.
All right. Well, the performance it's gotta be Rice Darby.
Oh yeah,
is the performance for me.
If that's not across the board here, we like.
Have you watched the same movie?
Does it qualify as a cameo? Is he like big enough that's like a cameo role? No, because I guess it's multiple scenes, so it's not a cameo now. But like it just it's just like unhinged and stupid.
He's even in like the final scene, like he skips one.
Yeah. Right.
He's a big part of the movie.
He's part of the movie. Like that would be.
I would say Darby's holds up for sure, but you know what? Honestly,
Radcliffe's very good though.
Daniel Radcliffe really holds the movie together, like he holds the guns, like it's any part he's in, it keeps it going. Like he definitely acted his ass off and did a really good job.
Well,
you could say the whole movie was very sloppily bolted together.
Such a fucking
no, Daniel Radcliffe, it still feels like in some ways, I know this movie's like a couple years old now, like he's trying to put himself as far from the Harry Potter verse as much as he can, and
You guys see that one where he's in the jungle? That was a good one.
He's done a lot of weird roles.
The jungle?
Yeah, he's like lost in the jungle.
Is he bald?
It's like a true story about some other guy who got lost in the jungle.
No.
It's that movie where he's bald.
The one where he's a corpse.
The one where he's a corpse with Paul Dano, and he literally he uses him as a boat because when his body starts farting, so that movie is pretty bad, but it was.
You say jungle, and you guys are all like jungle. You guys like
what's
say
the
boat is a
jungle?
corpse, and it's just like boat corpses.
What's that one called? No, the movie's the one you're talking
internet.
about.
See, the world is the Guns Akimbo.
The one you're talking about, Swiss Army Man, is the one where he's the corpse.
Yeah, Swiss Army Man. That's
Swiss Army Man.
What performance would you hold up, Chow?
I think it's unanimous across the board. It's a no-brainer.
It's Darby.
Yeah.
It's Darby.
Old Darby.
Setting aesthetic, it's crazy, but it didn't bore me like Atomic Blonde. It didn't bore me like The Net. It didn't confuse me like the Hackers.
You were confused about Hackers?
I liked it fine. Well, no, just like how nothing makes sense. Like nothing in their perception of what the internet looks like makes any sense at all. Like their little towers of green lights or letters, and like it's just like, what am I looking at?
Yeah,
like at least I know what I'm looking at in
this movie. What the fuck am I looking at? What? How many times have we got to barrel roll your camera? Like, where's the action?
I
How many times
literally
do you have to,
wrote that down
track
somewhere in
somebody's
my
head and then
comments. Like,
force the entire frame on their head and then pull it out instead of just like simply shooting in a way that didn't have to digitize every camera movement to a sickening degree. I did not enjoy this movie.
yeah, I think like overall
It was
setting
its
aesthetic. I
biggest
mean,
detriment.
it's weird because like it would almost my comments would almost mirror what I say for like hackers, and that it's like they went for a particular style, and it's like it's either for you or it's not, right? And if you watch this movie in 10 or 15 years, you're either going to immediately be like, oh shit, this is like so cool and different than other movies I'm used to watching, or you're going to be like, okay, like this is somebody's fever dream that they turned into a movie, and it's not.
Well, that's called Southland Tales, and we've covered it on this movie as well.
Southland
That is an
Tales,
amazing
yeah.
movie. It's much better.
That's
than
the worst
film.
movie I've ever seen.
Marty, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Southland Tales is a masterpiece.
You downgraded it to a C movie, Murphy. It
Only
ain't no
because
masterpiece.
you finagled your way into making me downgrade it into a C movie, but my heart still holds true.
Convinced.
It's a B movie.
Convinced is the word, not finagled.
I don't know, like, what is the cast of Southland Tales? Dwayne Johnson,
Dwayne
Sean
The Rock
William
Johnson.
Yeah,
Scott,
exactly.
It's an amazing.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, Justin Timberlake, Kevin Smith,
waste
Amy
your time.
Poehler. Like, what is
Waste your
this?
time.
That's
Oh my
an
god, I'm
all-star
cutting the
cast.
Southland Tales off right.
Southland Tales is a prophetic movie of our current times, and the movie Morsels for
No,
Guns
this is
Akimbo.
no Guns Akimbo is prophetic. We're like 2 years away from
How
murdering
many
each
people do
other
you
on
see
TikTok
running down the
if they
streets
aren't
with
doing it
guns in their
already.
hands?
I
Attached
said,
to their
give it a
hands?
couple years.
Give it a couple
Give it
years,
a
and you're
couple
gonna start
years.
seeing bolted
This
hands.
is more
people that can't
accurate than
operate guns
Hackers
because they've got
or the
bolts in their
Net.
index finger.
That's basically the internet.
That's how is that? What?
That'll be the next
Yeah.
TikTok thing that all the kids are doing.
TikTok is not a bolt in the index. Actually, maybe it is. Maybe it is.
It is. It will be.
All right,
Gateway.
movie morsels
All right.
for A Guns Akimbo 2020.
Gateway for sure.
Gateway for sure.
Samara Weaving, who played the character of Nyx, occasionally stayed in full Nyx costume after long days of shooting on set. She revealed that she was frequently refused service at diners and the like because it made people so uncomfortable.
Did she tell them that she
Big-
was, the
Big
niece
silver
of
fangs.
of Elrond?
Yeah, right.
Is she now?
Nyx named her
Hugo
pistol
Weaving them.
Kindness. Nyx named her pistol Kindness. It's written on the slide. She literally kills people with kindness.
Haha.
The movie playing on Miles TV when he and Nyx are in his apartment is Hard Target from 1993, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh yeah,
which
Hard Target.
They
Great
hunt
movie.
people for sport. What a coincidence. According to director Jason Leigh Howden, the title's Guns Akimbo stems from a video game called Blood that he used to play back in the 90s. The game has a power-up mode where you're running around with a single gun, and then you get this power-up called Guns Akimbo, which gives you 2 guns for 30 seconds.
I don't remember that game. Interesting.
Is it multiplayer?
The movie pays homage to dubstep artist Schism, whose video for the track Experts... Yes, the movie pays homage to the dubstep artist Schism, whose video for the track Experts has a similar plot. A nerdy troll sits in his messy room writing hateful comments as he goes through various YouTube videos related to dubstep. Later on, he gets dragged into the monitor and finds himself inside the internet, where he has to face artists such as Skrillex, Excision, Zomboy, and Eptic before facing Schism himself. I'm sure Davan knows all of those artists, and he can relate.
I've heard of Skrillex.
And this is probably the best movie morsel for this film, and this is why I saved it for last. According to director Jason Howden, when reading the script, the moment that Daniel Radcliffe wanted to play Miles was the scene where Miles has to learn to pee with his gun hands.
I figured.
Yeah. It sounds Sounds like a Daniel Radcliffe thing. Yeah.
The movie was released April 2nd, 2020, with a runtime of 95 minutes, a box office budget of. This was actually really hard to nail down. There is no.
Because apparently it didn't have like
verified-
an American release in
Yeah.
theaters. Like at
Yeah,
all.
it didn't have an American. Well, it did. It's April 2nd, 2020. It was released in New Zealand March 5th, 2020. And it was released in TIFF on September 9th, 2019. So technically it's a 2019 film. But the budget for this film is like, there's no confirmation. It is estimated the budget for this film is $15 million. The box office is $847,000, $847,947. So less than $1 million. This is the worst performed movie in all of the 3 movies that we fucking watched.
Yeah.
If you don't release it in the U.S., you're not going to make a lot of money.
Well, yeah, like I think I looked at it too. It's like it got released in like Australia, New Zealand, and like Germany. Like it never, like nobody ever picked it up.
800,000 is not bad.
Nobody ever picked it up for North American distribution because it's like
surprisingly good.
I still can't believe you thought it was a good. I thought you were gonna hate this movie. I thought you were
No,
gonna
man.
hate this movie as much as I did.
No,
What
it
is
said
this?
everything
What-
about the
how
internet that
good
I
is
think.
this? How are we the fucking two faces of the same coin?
I don't know. No. You grow your facial hair up here, I grew mine down here, you know.
that's
That's it, right there.
That's it.
Rewatchability? No, I liked it, but I don't need to watch it again.
Yeah, that's a one-time thing for me.
Yeah, it's a one-time fucking acid trip that was too bad, and I never want to take again.
Yeah, it's like sometimes there are like kind of like dumb, fast-paced action movies that are like perfect for just like I'm gonna put this on and like half pay attention, and this isn't that. It's like it's too much sensory overload. Like you can't just kind of passively watch it. Like I wouldn't be able to watch it again in any capacity.
If you're looking for like a grindhouse style, like
it's kind of grindhouse,
violent tour de force kind of cartoonish film, but one that's done way better, watch Hobo with a Shotgun. That film hits all the notes that this movie was trying to hit, but it does it so with you know, slightly better cast and slightly better just visuals.
Good local film, you know.
And it's a great local film, a great Halifax local film that everybody should watch. Jason Eisner did good. And I need to watch his movie Kids vs. Aliens, which we may cover on this show sometime.
Oh yeah, check that one out too. Does it hold up? For me, it does. I like this movie. I don't want to watch it again, but it definitely surprised me. Like you take that theme and I'm like, that's gonna be horrible. It was way better. Whereas these other movies were worse than I thought they would be. This one was better than I thought it would be. Now maybe that's an expectations thing, but well, I'm gonna say yes.
No.
Just blow Murphy's brain up.
Oh.
What was that? Hey, hold up. Anybody?
Huh? I think we had a little
Nobody's
internet
talking no
connection
more?
interruption there.
Yeah, we lost Chow for a minute.
Oh, we lost Chow.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Oh no, he's back. He's there. He's there.
Oh,
He's
really?
back.
yeah, we lost you
you're
there.
back
Does
now.
this one hold up, Chow?
I'm back.
Yeah.
I said no.
Is this-
As much fun as I had, but
No.
I don't think it's gonna hold.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's a gimmick movie. Like it doesn't hold up. It's not it doesn't hit the right notes of camp for it to be like a campy cult following, and it's not.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty campy and funny.
Yeah, see, like I just feel like it doesn't like modern camp is a lot harder to pull off because you lose like when you do sort of cheap CGI, you lose some of the charm of like cheap practical effects that you get from like older kind of campy movies that became, you know, that were bad movies but became like big cult movies. Like this movie, it just doesn't like, yeah, it just.
Well, to
So,
that statement, then
Murphy said it.
can you make campy movies nowadays?
I don't know if you can.
The Shotgun's an excellent example. Of
Yeah,
campy movie.
see, that's one that I stayed away from because I feel like the little bits of it that I did see or hear about, it seemed like a little just too over the top violent for me.
Well, when
but
did that movie come
yeah.
out?
Hobo with a
A
Shotgun.
while ago
like
now.
20,
Probably like 10 years ago now.
15,
14,
2016,
20,
something
yeah.
like that.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh,
it's like,
okay, I might have some slight bias because I did some background acting on that film. So.
Oh, did ya?
the old
Our
extra.
internet movie rankings. For me, it's Guns Akimbo at the top, and then Hackers, and then The Net, which I thought it would be the opposite, and it wasn't.
I'm apparently the
I'm nothing if
opposite
not
because I think it's the
surprising to the
net.
listeners of this show.
I think it's the
Yeah.
net. God damn, Guns Akimbo.
It's so
Hackers,
hard
you know
for
what?
you.
I could flip a coin and it could go in either spot for me.
I got a soft spot for Hackers.
I'm gonna
Yeah, it
put,
changed your life.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna put Hackers above Guns Akimbo because I had more fun watching Hackers than I did Guns Akimbo. So yeah, it's gonna go the net Hackers
There
and
you
Guns
go.
Akimbo.
So then, I think we're gonna have like 4 different things. I'm Hackers, Net, Guns Akimbo for me.
All right.
We
Well,
are going
yours,
to have
Chow.
4
Yours
different
one
things.
interests me.
Hackers,
what do
Guns
you got?
Akimbo, the net.
There you
Wow.
go.
This was a fascinating episode, fellas. You guys come back anytime. Gotta say.
Movies are subjective.
Yeah, man.
It's true. It's
Who
true.
knew?
You can
We're only
you can
proving that theory here on this podcast.
Your mom's subjective.
So there we have our list here. So those are our A movies where everyone on the show agreed it was great or holds up, and the B movies where there was some disagreement, and then our C movies, don't watch any of those if you can help it. They're not
What,
good.
Hackers at Sea? Oh my god.
Yeah, nobody said it held up. I thought you guys were going to say it did,
like
but you didn't.
we like it, but we
No,
don't think it
Hackers
holds up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
no.
the hold up qualification. If you think
yeah.
it holds up with like to this day, then say it holds up. You know?
I think I'm just
Yeah.
nostalgic about it.
Oh shit, Gattaca is a B, huh? I love Gattaca. It's like one of my favorite movies.
Gattaca was not
Southland's
good.
Tales was a B, but I got finagled.
UHF. Tales is all.
Now, Network is definitely an A. Network you could watch today and be like, oh shit, this is
Yeah,
Fox
that's
News.
what I'm saying. Network
Oh,
should be a freaking
it's
A.
phenomenal. Network's phenomenal.
That
Yeah,
movie's
man.
amazing. Yeah.
So it's
it's
Good Night and Good. All those A movies, again, take all of them to the bank. They're all amazing. And the B movies, you have to watch them and judge it for yourself. That's our
But hey,
categories
look at
here.
it this way: we have more A movies than we do B or C movies.
So we're seeing some good movies.
Yeah, we're not totally off the mark here. We're actually landing some decent films.
Well, it brings us to the end here. Again, thanks for joining us, KH and Chow. You know, we have an entire federation of podcasts here. The United Federation of Podcasts. Let me get rid of that banner while I do this quick rundown here. So the many shows you can check out. You can check our next episode here in 2 weeks' time. It'll be on,
give or take.
What is this? What?
We're doing Heist the next episode. We've got the
Oh,
Pink
it's
Panther.
Heists. Oh, yeah.
We're doing Pink Panther, and we've got special guest Jaemeel Robinson coming in on this one.
Yeah.
He picked his film is Out of Sight from 1998, and then I picked a German film called Victoria. So get your reading glasses out for this one. It's going to be a whole lot of subtitles, but I'm really excited to watch Victoria. This film, from my understanding, from beginning to end, was filmed in one take. And they got the entire film done on their third time trying to film the movie. So beginning to end is one actual take, not the one take and then we cut the camera and we're filming.
Fake takes.
No.
Fake cuts.
They literally filmed every single scene from beginning to end in this movie in one single take, and they did it 3 times and they got it on the third time. So I'm really excited for this film.
Can you imagine how much film they wasted? Well, I guess if they got it on the third time.
Well, they don't use film anymore either. They don't use film anymore.
Oh, this is one of the newer ones.
Yeah, this is a new one. It's digital. So like,
what did you say that was?
It's called Victoria.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Kyle, do you remember Elephant?
Oh yeah, I remember Elephant.
Yeah.
Elephant wasn't as bad as Jerry though, as far as long takes. Jerry had like that 11-minute like walking through the desert scene. It was it's a little tough.
But yeah,
they're both Gus
Gus
Van Sant movies with his very minimalistic directing style, we'll call it. where it's like, yeah, it's like no, very little cutting. Yeah. Yeah, Elephant was about a school shooting, and Jerry was about two guys named Jerry lost in the desert, starring Matt Damon and
Shouldn't have been called Jerry's.
It had Matt Damon and Casey Affleck lost in a desert. It was basically them just walking around for 80 minutes.
Were they involved at the Jerry daycare?
On Tuesdays, you can check out me and Andre Mayet on X-Rated, the X-Men Animated Review Show. This coming Tuesday, we're interviewing a writer of the show on several episodes, Len Yulee, so that's going to be fun. And you can every 2 weeks you can check out Andre's other interview show, Graphic Histories Podcast, where he interviews people from movies, TV, comics, and Super Matters Brothers Podcast, where they review reality shows and things of the like. And we do the Mary Mater Marvel Society over there as well, where we'll review Marvel MCU stuff as it comes out. And I have a million podcasts, so you can check me out on Fridays. And we review The Simpsons with my buddy Francis and my buddy Baker. That's fun times. We're on Dancing Homer. Cousin Dave's going to be joining us for that one.
There's my episode coming up soon. Next season.
Oh, what one did you pick?
Bart jumps the gorge.
Oh,
nice.
Pretty soon. That's a good one. You guys are welcome to come on that one as well. A newest member of the United Federation of Podcasts, Eamon on Track. I'll be guesting on the second episode of that, I believe. They just did the first one. He reviewed the entire soundtrack of Hamilton with his father, Dave Mater.
Yep.
And we have trivial debates every once a month, which is a fun one. The last one was on wrestling, hosted by Murphy there.
Yeah, WrestleMania.
And, he was a slobber knocker, a barn burner, as the good old JR would say.
Slobber knocker.
Yeah, they knocked the slobbers. In the Hellbound podcast, a horror movie podcast with Alex Blackburn and Michael Chan. Check that out, and check out Michael Chan's new TV show on YTV, The Popularity Papers.
Yep.
Check that out if you've got YTV and you got little kids, teenage-aged kids. Sure, they'd love it. And if you love Star Trek, we've got a ton of Star Trek content all over our many Star Trek divisions. I'm not going to go on about it now. It's been a long night. But trust me,
a lot of Star
if
Trek.
you love Star Trek, yeah, we get a lot.
I can see Worf in the background there. Yeah, you like and there's Picard, and then there's everyone else playing poker, and there's Deep Space Nine, and there's
two of these divisions are basically just
Ferengi guy. Yeah.
Where's
there
the
Death
Star?
There's my little brand there. But all right, well, let's get out of here, fellas. It's been a long night. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It was fun,
man. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Let's get out of here.
So, yeah.
Where's my little?
You know what? I just realized.
Oh, we got to do coming attractions. Or you didn't do coming attractions?
We didn't do coming attractions, and I just.
No coming attractions this week.
No. I got them. I just.
No. That's good.
No. It's
just
fine.
skip them.
No.
All right.
No, they're right.
No skipping coming attractions. You guys don't have to wait for this. It's going to be like 10 minutes of trailers.
Give or take. But yeah, thanks for joining us for the movies.
Yeah, I'll hop
have
off.
a good night and enjoy the movies.